how would you curb inflation in your opinion? Your 45 seconds starts.
I mean, that's the $1 million question, I guess, right now, man. I mean, I need to get in the White House and try to be on the team to figure it out. I mean, look, the OPEC is cutting oil production. I saw from about 1 million barrels a day
Two.
to try to increase the 2 million barrels a day. All right, so to try to increase the price of oil or will increase the price of oil and gas. And so I'm seeing a climate where a lot is not working. It doesn't seem like inflation is going down despite the efforts of the Fed. So what does that look like? Look, I don't know, man. I think you got to continue to increase interest rates. Unfortunately, that would be my plan to try to slow down the economy. But it doesn't seem to be working. So, I mean, I'm kind of stuck on this one. But I definitely would try to continue to raise rates as they're doing right now.
Okay, perfectly timed. 45 seconds. Leon G. Barnes, your thoughts on how you would curb inflation?
We had a long discussion last week about government and just in general how we would do this different. And I think the message that we had last week was simple: was continue to do what they're doing, just slow down with it every 30-day hammer that they're hitting us with on the interest rates going up. There's another increase coming November 1st or 2nd during their meeting there. So another couple of weeks, they're projected to increase those interest rates again. And I don't claim to know everything when it comes to this sector, but I will say this, that I would hold off on this hammer that we've been hit with every 30 days here for the last few months. There's been 5 interest rates hikes in the last short amount of time.
For sure. All right, Eric Brewer, your thoughts?
I mean, I think the most logical answer to this is that this inflation was caused by a series of events, right? Like, if you just go back and you look at lockdowns and you look at printing money and you look at all of that stuff, the people that were against that predicted this exact scenario. They said, if you do this, if you do that, you're going to create an inflationary period that we've never seen before. And lo and behold, look where we are. So the problem with raising interest rates is that we're fixing a symptom. We're not actually addressing the problem. What's the real problem with inflation? People can't afford stuff. What does raising interest rates do? People can't afford stuff, right? They're just buying it in lower bulk. So I think that what may look like, a solution in raising the interest rates is an age-old, we're slowing down purchasing, which slows down, the demand. What we're doing right now is not working, to Chris's point. We need to reimagine our approach.
Okay, great take. Boss man, bring us home. Your thoughts on how you would curb inflation?
I think the answer is pretty simple. I don't think it'll ever happen with this current administration. But I think we have to stop this war on energy, and I think we have to help get supply chain going again. Like the fact that we have these tankers in the ocean that are taking too long to unload. The fact that we have truckers that want to move the supplies to the rest of the country that are being limited due to labor battles, right? Labor unions and so on. And the fact that we have energy in the United States. We have a lot of energy in the United States. It was totally fine, in the previous administration. But until the government decides to stop the war on energy, and I get it, they want to fight climate, but like at what cost? Like that's the question. At what cost are we willing to sacrifice everyone's lives as far as the quality of life? So I think stop the war on energy, inspire confidence in the energy companies, and then we should be able to make things affordable because energy is in everything.
Great.
The real answer is that we should introduce a 2-year presidential term for the first time ever and get someone in a position of power that has the ability, the audacity, and the information. All the information's there to do what Steve just said, but that decision goes against a lot of the policy that these people have built their campaigns on. They've probably promised certain people legislation or grant money, right? Like, wasn't it just out that somehow they were talking to, Nancy Pelosi? There was an interview that was circulating last week, and they talked about how there was a connection to electric vehicles. They made an investment in the batteries, or it was titanium or something, lithium, in these batteries for mass production of electrical vehicles, and they made an investment in that, and she didn't see a problem with it. I mean, come on, man.
I think the problem is tough, man, because the problem to Steve's point, right? Like that's logical. I think that makes sense, but the country doesn't work on like logical sense at the end of the day. It works on policy and procedure. It works on, backroom deals. It works on, commitments and lobbyists. And we're in an unfortunate moment in time, in my opinion, man. It's people are really dealing with real things right now. You've got people that are suffering from job loss. You've got people that are suffering from, cost of goods and services increasing. You've got people that are suffering from overloading themselves, unfortunately, on debt in the last couple of years. I mean, this thing is starting to feel like a ticking time bomb, and it's like a bull that's on the loose, and the government's running around with the red flag, trying to get this thing to slow down, and it's not happening.
To Chris's point, in a small business like most real estate investment businesses, you can innovate and make quick changes that impact and turn the ship around pretty quickly. With the policies that are involved in the two-party system, even if you're innovative at this point, how much can you change in the short amount of time? So all they know is now is raising interest rates, right? So it's very hard to innovate when you have a two-party system that really doesn't agree on much of anything right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the major problem.
I think they actually I think they agree on far more than what we know. They just have different boosters. They have different sponsors. They have different. There cannot be. There cannot be that much separate. How can you argue that what you're doing currently is working? There's no facts to support that. They stay committed to that policy because of their commitments to people. It doesn't impact them. They're being. I mean, let's face it. They're benefiting from the same policies that are destroying the U.S. economy. So it's not that they believe that it's the right approach. It's just in their best interest. That's it. They actually don't have that much different in their beliefs. It's just that they have different alliances, and that dictates the policy and the things that they say and the way that they behave. They honestly don't believe the shit that they actually say.